LR, the liberal redneck here, coming to you from a country that just had the first presidential primary before the general election in November. And one thing is clear: Trump is not the choice of non-MAGA Republicans. Republicans were solidly behind Trump in the 2020 election, and many are letting him know their feelings have changed. This signals a rift in the Republican Party that could mean very good news to President Joe Biden. They did not have enough votes in the last election, even with the solidarity, and it could be much worse in the current one. In 2020, Trump won the New Hampshire Republican caucus with 97% of the vote. This year, he won with 54% of the vote. 43% of Republican voters rejected him. A 74-year-old former Trump voter says that she dumped Trump in the 2024 New Hampshire primary because she wants to live in a democracy, not a dictatorship. The voter was asked on CNN who she voted for, and she answered, "Well, I voted for Nikki Haley because that was voting against Donald Trump. I am 74 years old. I lived in a constitutional democracy all my life. I want to remain that way. I want my grandchildren to grow up in one, not a dictatorship." An exit poll at the New Hampshire primary revealed that the two things Republicans are most concerned about are the economy and immigration. The economy under Trump was a disaster. We lost 2.9 million jobs. The unemployment rate increased to 6.3%. He added $7.8 trillion to the national debt. Economic growth shrank by 3.4%, and we were plunged into an economic recession. Under President Biden, 14 million new jobs have been added. The unemployment rate is down to 3.4%. The national debt has been reduced by $1.8 trillion. Economic growth has risen by 3%. The threat of another recession has been greatly reduced. Thanks to the Biden administration's focus on revitalizing manufacturing in America, China's economy size has slipped to only 64% of the size of the U.S. economy for the first time. Trump's only attempt at dealing with immigration was an ill-conceived, enormously expensive wall that ended up a total and complete disaster. President Biden and the Democrats have a plan to address the problem, but Speaker Johnson refuses to grant the necessary funding. MAGA Republicans are keeping a deep, dark secret. The border is not presidential responsibility. The border is a U.S. Congress responsibility. Congress makes the legislation. And who is in control of the House of Representatives? Republicans who would rather bitch about immigration than do anything to deal with it. Plus the fact that Trump told them not to, because it would give Biden an advantage. The single overriding problem with Trump is the inescapable, rapidly accelerating decline in his cognitive abilities. He's constantly issuing statements that make no sense at all. He does not have the mental capacity to run a government as big and complicated as that of the United States. He's already proved that, and it's even harder from a prison cell. Thanks for listening, and remember, always vote blue.